Oh, greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to today's ArchCast episode. We'll be talking about Battlefield 2042 first and foremost before moving into the Twitch data breach, which is what we're calling these things now. It's not getting hacked anymore or leaking all of your trade secrets or simply airing everybody's menacing laundry in public. No. It's a data breach.
Make it sound clinical, like it's not a big deal. Like, oh, it's a data slip. So, whoops. I
I
slipped.
do love our reductivist language in this regard. Like, recently I saw there was a report on Norwegian television where there was a person had been flat out murdered, right? And the police had gotten the suspect, and he hadn't been murdered, he passed away from his injuries. And the suspect had not been captured and interrogated, he had been invited to an interrogation session with police officers.
He has. He passed, unfortunately. What do you mean he passed, unfortunately? Well, he just sort of. It was his
With
time.
7 bullet wounds in his torso.
It's like, where's his leg on the ceiling? It's like, accident. He slipped. He slipped.
Blah. And California objects to Blizzard settlement with the EEOC, or whatever lettered agency it was. California is of the opinion that Blizzard will not be allowed to settle with their federal fans because, well, that kind of makes California's lawsuit seem kind of pointless, frankly.
Kinda. Just a pinch.
But oh well, minor insignificant details. Right. Battlefield 2042. This is a sad one. I did a video on this earlier today, which was supposed to be up like at 2, at my time, but then YouTube was like, let's just not upload this, so it's a bit later. But it serves as a wonderful example of how goddamn poorly that game runs. I put everything down to the lowest possible setting, and I was still experiencing ridiculous stutters and frame rate drops. Like, you literally see the models just sketch about on screen. I I don't even know how they made that happen, frankly.
It's impressive. It's impressive. Like, okay, for context, Arch and I have different graphics cards. I've got one of the more modern GPUs, the 3080, which I just got, and I was playing the game, and it was mildly better. But if you watch our previous stream, what was it, Friday? We did a Friday stream before the Pizza Friday stream. If you watch my gameplay, like, it still stutters randomly, and models still clip and jitter around. Like, dudes are clipping out of helicopters. Like, when you were in the
Mhm.
helicopter and I was in the gunner seat, I simply just looked out, and I saw you and I think myself just floating in the air, just hovering there.
Yep. I've
Just
had that happen
hovering
too,
there.
frequently, where you look out the window and you see other people just hanging in thin air, like, okay, I see.
All right. Or the elevator where you just sort of like clip all the way down to your top of your skull sticking out. That was funny. The elevator door as well. Like, it wouldn't, what's the word? Open? There was no open animation. It was closed the entire time, but you could walk through it, you know?
Yep.
That was weird. There are a lot of problems. And honestly, on top of all these problems, even though it worked relatively fine for me and I did the infantry combat wasn't too jank, it's just kind of mediocre.
The infantry combat is all right, but again, it's so difficult to really be able to comment on what's going on because you don't know if this is actually the way the gameplay is supposed to work or not. Like, to me, the gameplay felt very one-shotty on occasions where I would just explode and I wouldn't even hear the damage sound. I would just fall over dead. And I don't know if that's because the gameplay is quite one-shotty or if I simply didn't, the warnings didn't fucking render in time.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because the sound is not 100% on. Like when you get shot in the head, I got shot once in the head. I was playing a little bit later, and it didn't quite make a sound. Like I just fell over dead. And I know I got shot in the head because I could see the guy aiming at me with a scope. So either it was just a high-powered damage weapon, or it just sort of killed me instantly, or it simply just hit me in the head but made no sound. I mean, to be fair, if my head explodes, I'm probably not gonna hear anything. But still, you need that sort of audio feedback to let you know.
I've had that happen to me just with like normal assault rifles. Like the screen doesn't flash. Normally when you're taking damage, the screen flash and you hear that little thud 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 indicator to tell you, you're being attacked. You should probably do something about it. And just none of it happens. You just fall over, and then you go to the death screen and go like, oh, there's a dude with an assault rifle over there. And again, I don't know if that is just because the game's damage is really high, which it kind of feels like the marksman rifle will put somebody down in like 3 to 4 rounds, but it's so difficult to tell because I don't know if I'm just having chug or if the damage just piles up that quick.
Yeah. I mean, the kill rate in the game honestly feels better than it was in Battlefield 5, where things were a little tonky and they just wouldn't die.
Oh yes.
So the kill speeds feel different. Like I found some guns that were kind of fun to play with, like the LMG, I forget what it was, and some of the assault rifles were all right. And the ability to customize them was kind of neat, right? Like you could switch out the scopes, you could switch the ammo types on the fly. That's kind of nice, I suppose. But to walk that back a bit to criticism from my point of view, the class system I find, like, okay, the classes do have unique abilities after playing it for a bit. They actually do. They're all unique. They have their own little shticks. Sure, they can all use whatever gun, but that's another thing. But like, they all have unique abilities. But I found all the classes to be just like, why did they have them as these like named character sort of like things rather than soldiers, like regular
I,
soldiery dudes, like it normally was?
I don't know. And the thing is, with these special abilities, I am pretty sure we'll eventually just end up with a situation where they will be an objectively superior fighter. Like right now, for example, the medic seems to be the objectively superior character, simply because you can then pick any of the additional abilities anti tank weapon, AA, ammo pouch, healing, and you can also bring along a healing pistol as well. Her other ability is reviving people at full health, which is neat but not like decisive. Contra this, you've got the grappling hook, which is theoretically cool and will probably be a lot better on certain maps.
Yeah,
You've
the
got the
different
sentry
map.
turret, which is bugged. I don't know. I haven't been able to get it to shoot at anyone yet. And then you've got the socially awkward voyeur guy who has a surveillance drone, which I've also haven't been able to actually make work yet.
I got the surveillance drone to work. It's not very interesting though. Like you can fly around spot dudes, which is neat, but like I could see the viability, and if you had a bigger squad and if we played with more friends, it might make more sense. But I don't know. The game's got some wonk to it, some real big wonk, and I don't really see the purpose of this game as a Battlefield game. Like, what does this add to the franchise?
I think it's not supposed to add anything, honestly. The thing is, that's kind of what I wanted as well. I just want this to be a return to the older style of Battlefield games. No massive overarching gimmick like World War One. Battlefield One was a fairly gimmicky thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna do World War One as a style, but we're still gonna have in tons of semi-automatic rifles, fucking SMGs, hero classes that carry around Maxim machine guns and fucking armor and shit. Or five, which was gimmicky in that let's try and make this into Call of Duty, basically. So it feels like they're trying to do more of a return to the very classical Battlefield formula, but adding in a little bit of new stuff, a la the super duper massive ass O map, for example, which is I kind of grew to like it after a while because it does offer a lot of alternative approaches to various objective areas. But I also felt like it just ended up feeling a little bit empty because the map is that
I
massive.
mean, they doubled the player count, but that didn't make a difference. The map is boring and not interesting. The dynamic functions of this map are nothing new. They've done it in Battlefield 4 and to better effect in 4 than they did in this one, where it actually does something with the map. Things actually change, like you can blow up a skyscraper in the city and it changes the map, or you can blow up a dam and it floods an area. And that was kind of interesting. But this one doesn't bring anything to the table that's worthwhile. The hero class system, which is new, is, in my opinion, not that good, and is kind of just takes away from the Battlefield feel. It's the call-in thing, while it's cool on paper, what it sort of just turns into, what this game feels like is, I see more guys in parachutes just parachuting everywhere. Like, to the point where, like, it's parachute simulator. Like, guys are parachuting on top of positions all the time, and it's no longer like the special thing, it's happening all the time. It feels very boring.
There's benefits and detriments. On the one hand, I prefer the call in system over the physical vehicle spawn point system. For the simple reason that it does remove those 20 dudes who always stood in a goddamn circle around the bloody helicopter spawn points,
I mean, they solved that
which I like.
issue since Battlefield 3, because how it works since then, I don't know, remember if you played them, but basically when you're in the spawn menu, you can click on what to spawn in, and when there's a vehicle available, you can spawn into an available vehicle.
Yeah, but this also gives you individual cooldowns on each and every vehicle to avoid you from actually camping them too.
The only real difference here is you can just call in the vehicles that you already have access to from the map, because they're still there too. Like you can just spawn into them, like in the deployment screen, just like you can in Battlefield 1 and 4.
Hmm. I don't mind that system. I think that's all right. If anything, the biggest problem I've seen is the map is too large for what it is. Like, it's more players, all right, but it's too big, and a lot of it's empty space. Like I guess you need a certain degree of empty space for the aircraft to do their little twirly turning around bullshit, I suppose.
Well, they've
But
always solved that because the airspace is always bigger than the actual combat area.
yes, they need to enclose down the land area so that the combat is more actually focused. Now, it does also mean that the vehicles are more impactful, though, since it gives a greater degree of control in a certain set area. I don't know. I'm very theoretical on this regard because the thing is, with maps like these, it takes a very long time to truly figure out how they work truly. Like, there are certain maps where you begin to play it and you're like, oh, this map works this way, and people start figuring out meta abilities, like going over to the island over there to be snipers, etc., and various stuff, you know? So I don't want to judge the map too early. Like, I don't know. It's the one like positive aspect I can bring forward that
I mean, it's only
isn't
one
simply
map.
dependent on chug.
The thing is with the map, right? The map does this. It's very open. There's not a lot of urban areas actually. It's more of like a hilly, foresty area. It's set in, not North America, South America. And it's got like, a big building that you can explore and go in. With and it's got the rocket launch pad where the rocket actually launches, and it's got a big giant like tarmacy open field. There's some hills, there's a forest, and there's like a little refinery off on the coast on the other side. So there's actually a lot of versatility to the map. It definitely is a more drivey map because it's very big and there's lots of places to drive around. Like I actually played around with cars and stuff with a squad, actually before the stream to get a feel for it. And one of the things I noticed is that, yeah, no, like driving around like is actually perfectly fine. Like lots of driving around, lots of zooms. Had a cool duel with another armored car, and on the tarmac while two tanks were dueling around us with the helicopters crashing. So it's got that chaotic battlefield feel, which is nice in the game's actual defense. It feels like a Battlefield game at that moment. It's just the class system. I wish they would just stick with the regular classes and let us customize the dudes. Don't give us the whole like, and even if they don't want to let us customize them, fair, whatever. But like, don't I don't know, don't make them like named character things. Like that's kind of lame for me personally. Means there's like 40 Karens running around with their Karen haircuts. It's like I don't need that.
I do hate the fact that it also means, of course, that there's no character customization, and so it's just armies of clones fighting each other. You playing as the Bob Spencer dude, you kill another Bob Spencer dude, you just look down at his corpse and go like, brother, why? You
I
look
don't know
just like
why
me.
you were on the USSR, sorry, the Russian side, and it's like yeah, you play as the U.S. and Russia, and they're identical people on either side of the conflict. Like it's
Yep.
like there's no like the announcer is localized. So if you're playing as the US, it's a US commander. If you're playing as the Russians, it's a Russian advisor commander on the radio. That's good. But like if they're going to do the character thing, do the fucking bare minimum and make each faction have their own unique characters for their voice packs or whatever. So at least there's that instead of it being all universalized.
I suspect the reason why they decided to go with the hero character angle is because they probably want to start selling these damn things at some point or making them grindable unlockables and stuff like that.
I hate Rainbow Six Siege. It's introduced the fetishization with character things in shooters, and Overwatch as well, with like the whole obsession with hero shooters, where you got named characters, and that's fine for a hero shooter. But the thing is, what bothers me is this is a Battlefield game, not a hero shooter. Like when I buy a Battlefield game, I expect a Battlefield game. That's why I hate Rainbow Six Siege, because when I bought a Rainbow Six game, I expected Rainbow Six, not what Siege is, which is not a bad game per se. It's just not a Rainbow Six game. And to me, that pisses me off because they're misusing the name for sales.
Well, that's another aspect of everything again. Like, it's why I had some high hopes for 2042 because in many ways it did look to be a return to just Battlefield. And I would say in many ways it is. The vehicle combat, the ground combat, the environment, it feels a lot more Battlefield than 5. That's for absolute certain, a World War II monstrosity. And it feels more Battlefieldy than I would say than World War One as well. It's closer to the heydays, but again, it's so difficult to tell because of the goddamn chugging all the time. As for the characters, again, I'm pretty sure that's for economical reasons. They want to sell this stuff or make them unlockables. The the loadout system, the weapon customization, I like it and I dislike it at the same time because it allows you to adapt on the fly, which is cool, but it also means that there's no real point in the specialization. Maybe when there's way more weapons unlocked later on, there will be far more differences in between the weapons, so that there would be still some level of specialization, or perhaps there'd be like loadouts, like you can bring like two scopes, two magazines. Like maybe you have 15 points to spend, right? And the AP magazine costs 3 points, and the heads up display, what the holographic sight? That was what I was
Yeah.
looking for. Cost another 3 points. Like maybe I don't know.
Actually, I kind of like your idea with that because that would mean that you'd put a lot of emphasis on like, okay, you've got all these things, and they could start off unlocked already, so you don't have to unlock them, right? Because that's just pointless grind. And so it's like, okay, you have access to these things, but you need to like, put a little bit of thought into your loadout, your kit. And if they players don't want to put thought in their kit, let's say they're just like a casual player, then just give them a default kit. There you go, problem solved.
hmm But we don't know exactly what the unlock system is going to be like. As far as I'm aware, they haven't really talked about it.
All I know
And
is
there
I've
won't be one.
leveled up and I think I unlocked a gun, but I
Yes, you do unlock weapons, at least some weapons, by playing.
yeah, but it's a very I think it's just like you level up and you just unlock a gun. I don't think there's like because of how the classes work, because anybody can use any gun now. I think it just you progress gun appears. I
Possibly.
think.
But I don't know. We'll have to try it out when it comes for the open beta pre-release again, because the biggest issue right now is absolutely the chug, and I do believe that it's going to reduce the experience quite badly. and it locks off portions of the game. It locks off portion of the vehicle combat, and I tried to drive one of the little buggies, and holy hell. Man, the buggies are hilarious. You touch the fucking controls, and the buggy goes 90 degrees that way. Wee.
Actually, I didn't have any problems with the buggy. I just did a little stream of it on Twitch when I was testing my new setup, and I was pretty good at the buggy. Or wait, is the buggy the car, or is there like an actual
Yes.
like different thing? Okay, it's a car.
There's
There
the
might be
recon buggy thing.
a latency thing, because some of the issues you had might be related to just the fact that the engine's poorly fucking optimized as fuck. Like everyone I've talked to who's played the game that isn't me has had really, really bad performance. Because I don't know anybody who has the same setup I do. So there's some serious bad optimization in this game. Like really bad optimization. And that can be like, okay, that's a beta, but they've only got like 5 weeks to sort this out. Like they gotta fix this. This is absolutely unplayable. Like being in the tank, even with my rig and stuff, like when somebody moves the tank, it jitters the turret. Like the what's it called? The little machine gun turret, it jitters. That shouldn't happen because these kinds of tanks, if we're going 2042 in the future, we already have stabilizer technology now. Like, don't tell me that they just forgot how that worked.
It's stupid. And man, making a game that I currently can't run acceptably on the lowest possible settings.
Yeah, you did turn it down to potato.
Yeah, play properly in 5 weeks. Good luck, I guess.
Yeah, like this game, I smell a disaster brewing here. Honestly, there's not
Yes,
that many
very much
maps
so.
launching. I think my forecast for the game, if this doesn't turn out, who knows? Maybe because this is a different build, by the way, than what they're actually going to release. The thing is, maybe it's going to be like, oh, it'll be okay. But my prediction currently is that this game's going to launch, and it's going to absolutely faceplant the ground. It's like Battlefield 5 did. At its current rate.
It might. Oh, it would be a little sad because, again, I did hope that this would be a bit of a proper return to form for an old shooter series. But, well, all hope is not lost just yet. We'll have to wait for the open beta and have another look at it then. Now, let me get through a few of the super chats that I've gotten in, and we'll move on to Twitch. And that is a funny subject right there, because a lot of things have come out about it, including the highest earning Twitch streamers, including a certain professional communist, for example. And also, apparently, they have a do not ban list and other things. But Tanichniev says, Subarch, 2 questions. 1, what would you add to humankind? Like a culture feature, expanding a religion system, etc. 2, have you tried Blasphemous? Metroidvania, awesome theme, dark as heck. What would I add to humankind? Basic goddamn pacing. It needs a system like in Civ where you can be like, the game should be slower, because right now, the early ages take quite a long time, but after that, you just blast through the rest of the game so bloody quickly that the last units you build is musketmen, and the next unit you build is like tanks. Like, okay, we've skipped a few steps here, but very well. And no, I have not tried Blasphemous. Metroidvania-style games not really my thing, honestly. I did play some of them back in the day, but we're talking about 12-year-old Arch here now. Actual Metroidvania. Does it hamster? Oh, go ahead.
You know what? I was gonna pull up a link so you can at least look at it.
So you can then look at it.
Because Blasphemous is, I kind of agree. I don't play those games too much either, but it's got a kind of cool art style though. Here you go. You can take a look at it. It's kind of pretty looking. It's a bit, it's a Metroidvania style game that's very much influenced by, I think, Dark Souls quite a bit. And I know you like Dark Souls. Look with your little eyes. Look.
I'm trying to, but it's not loading.
Okay. Yeah, but it's
okay,
pretty
there
art,
we go.
though.
Kinda.
Pretty good animations too.
Maybe. I definitely see the Dark Souls.
Yeah, you can very much tell right off the bat.
Creepy looking. I do not condemn the game, but it's not my style, so yell at Kyle, he'll play it for you. Won't you, Kyle?
What? I don't play Metrovanias.
Well, that's what he keeps saying about things.
What do you think
Just
I
pay
am?
him enough and he'll
That's
play
like a
almost
thing
anything.
Dev plays, because you have to be like this old boomer who's like, I remember when the Super Nintendo was around because I'm 70,000 years old.
I remember when the Super Nintendo was around. I remember when the Nintendo wasn't around. The fucking Nintendo Entertainment System.
See, I inherited these things, but like when I was like playing games, like the PS2 and the Xbox original were the kind of the things that were becoming relevant, and the PlayStation 1 and the N64 were like the last gen stuff. That was me.
You're a weird child. You know that?
I grew up in the golden age. I got to enjoy many good things.
Questioning. Desert Hamster says upgraded from 486 to Pentium to make a Battlefield 2042 run. Upgrade. Meh. Right. Upgrade computer to play Battlefield 2042.
One game isn't good enough. An excuse. Like, it's gotta be like the PC's falling behind the times, you know, because shit's not cheap nowadays. Fuck. It isn't. Help, Arch. Help me.
Penguin, I have seen Rule 34 of female anime, Arch. I have used it for personal relief. Discuss. Well, it's very simple. I disavow. And condemn.
Don't worry.
Vehemently.
If you only found one, there's a lot more on if you join my Discord. Which I hate.
Everything that's wrong with Kyle and more.
There'll be more in the future. Won't there, Arch?
No. Nick Mattis, for me, EA killed Battlefield when they left the niche of strategic commander/squad-based combined arms combat and went for the run and gun, minimum time to kill, COD clone thing. Yeah, you know, one thing I really missed from Battlefield 2 was the commander role. I really liked that. Having the ability to call in the UAVs to respond to artillery strikes and stuff, that was cool.
Wait, was that
And when
Battlefield
properly
2?
played, could give your team a huge advantage.
Was that 2?
I think that was 2.
I'm trying to remember. That's fine. Oh, man.
I remember bombing
That's
the
cool.
shit of a little Middle Eastern village, and I think that was 2.
Yep, that's 2. 2 is great. 2 is like... 2 is peak, and it was followed up by 2142, which was really cool.
I'm pretty sure that was it, because that command system and that was pretty cool. I miss command system in games. Honestly, they should have more of that. It was really fun in oh bloody hell, what was it called? There was a asymmetrical third-person actiony style game where you had like humans versus monsters.
What was the game? Describe it.
I don't remember.
What was the game thing? Like, what was the gameplay loop like?
Well, the gameplay route was for the commander, it was a bit of an RTS. Like you had resource gathering buildings and stuff, and you had control points around the map. And for everyone else, it was a third-person action game where you unlock bigger and better classes. Savage, yes, Savage.
That was fun. Yeah,
that was fun. The new Savage is absolute ass, by the way.
Yeah. There's another one game that was kind of like that sort of hybrid of RTS FPS. That was what was it, Natural Selection, I think. The first one was all right. I
never
really
get
like
into
the
that. I
second
tried
one.
it. I just meh.
Yeah, it doesn't have the feel. Savage was really cool though. Savage was fucking like, it was sweet. Like the base builder, would have an RTS control, and the players would have to go around harvesting resources because they're the harvester players, and then there was like the fighter characters. You know, that was cool.
That was cool. Marked Ashame says, so when are we getting more Command Modern Operation? I'm over here babysitting a P8 for Poseidon for the Royal Norwegian Air Force. Never, ever again. Until they added multiplayer. Probably.
Then we can stream it over here.
That will be truly quite something. They're working on it, but they're working on the actual military version first. So it's going to take them a while, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Well, I'll never say never. The thing is, with YouTube's current state, I need to see. I've been working on that future jobs video, which I'm gonna have to talk about at some point. Where I'm also gonna eventually do like a "so you want to be a YouTuber" video, which will basically be like, "Don't. It's not a good job. It's a fucking stressful job,
Well, don't do it.
and you probably are not gonna be able to earn money off it."
Yeah, like don't start if you want to start YouTube. Do it to have fun. Don't assume you're gonna get into money because the oversaturation, like unless you have connections to help boost you and signal boost you, you're like it's gonna be really difficult. So just try to have fun with it, and then see what happens.
Yes, and like the biggest problem is the trends. Like you have no idea what you're supposed to do. Let's plays were the shit for a while, and literally the biggest shit around, and launched the Markiplies, the Jacksepticeye's, the PewDiePies of the world. Now it's such a dead market. There's a handful of creators who can still get good views out of it, and even then, their mobilization and their reach in comparison to their size is pitiful because YouTube doesn't want that kind of content.
Yeah, the gaming side of things is very hard. Once you get an established following, though, as somebody who does do like Let's Play style of streams, like I switched over. I don't even do Let's Play anymore. Like we do basically like pseudo podcasts while we play games with a bunch of us, kind of like in the format that we're doing now. And that seems to be a better method. You need some good banter, commentary, just practice talking. Even if nobody shows up, just talk. Talk as if there are people. Pretend.
It's a derpy job. That's for damn sure. Right, let's get on to the Twitch topic then, shall we? So, Twitch, with their little data breach, their minor security whoopsie that leaked everyone's passwords and payment information and stuff. Though they are vehemently denying this, apparently all of this info has been up for sale on pirate hacking sites. So, pinch of salt. We don't know if they're telling the truth. They could just be bullshitting to try and get people's money for these sales. Entirely possible. But don't trust Twitch either. If you have a Twitch account, change your goddamn password, regardless of who you are. Just do it. And if you had the same password anywhere else, change it. All of it.
I changed my password and enable two-factor authenticator as well. Especially if you're going to do content creation. Trust me, it's going to save you a headache, but you're still probably going to get hacked at some point.
Now, there's a few things that have occurred over here, which is rather interesting. The most immediately funny one was probably the leaking of the top earning Twitch streamers, which is in the millions of dollars, like just ridiculous amount of money. But bearing in mind as well, this is the top 0 point something % of Twitch streamers, whilst the overwhelming majority don't even earn minimum wage. This is very much so a have not and haves society kind of stuff.
It is, yeah, very much.
Whereas on YouTube, there's a hell of a lot more of the middle ground, like the yous and me's of YouTube, which I earn plenty to live off YouTube. That would not be a problem, even without Patreon or Subscribestar or anything like that, and sponsorships. And it's easier to get to that middle ground. Not easier, quote, unquote, but on Twitch, my god, yeah, just don't. Just don't.
Which is another market. If you ever get into streaming, and you decide to get OBS or Streamlabs OBS, consider multi-streaming. Stream to multiple platforms. What I do. It increases your potential growth and your potential audience. Don't, shackle yourself to one or the other. Just try to branch out so you can try to get, your fingers out there, see if anybody bites.
Yes. Because you might as well. But basically, there's 10,000 people which can live off Twitch, excuse me. Everyone else, no. Like, take that into account. The amount of people that are doing Twitch, and there's only 10,000 people who can actually make a living off it. But one of these people, of course, was Hasan Piker, the Young Turks guy, the professional communist.
You mean the professional millionaire? Nice.
Professional millionaire, yes.
There you go. Impressive.
That I found that funny because I mean he recently bought himself like a $3 million home as well, which is like okay, rightio then.
I just can't imagine buying a house that would cost that much. I'd be lucky to
$3
buy a
million
house.
house. And he bought it out of goddamn pocket too. That's the thing. Like normal people need to get a mortgage just to buy an apartment or a regular house. But the socialist is like, yes, take it out of my bank account, peasant.
Comical laugh of a villain.
Oh, it's so stupid. And again, like, there's nothing wrong with earning money, but this is a person whose single sole shtick is whining about capitalism and how profit is clearly theft. Hasan
Despite,
Piker is a very large thief. Let me just put it like that.
it's funny that he participates in capitalism, and not only does he participate, but he's actually reaping massive benefits from it.
Like, he's a far more successful capitalist than you or I. Let's put it like that.
Truly, truly. His capitalistic ideals are greatly valued. See, he's a genius. He swindles the people who are dumb, right? And who's the dumbest people on Earth? A tanky. You can swindle them out of their money. Like, it's good market. Like, think about it. Maybe we should become socialists as well.
I mean, I
Think of
can't
the money.
deny he has discovered a remarkable market of people who are willing to give a. I mean, it's almost like the old Christian scam, you know, with letters of forgiveness to let you into heaven, where it's like, tell me your sins, give me money, relieve yourself of the burden of money, and you will go to heaven. Or socialism in this case.
I think it's time that Arch and I, take the socialist pill. We'll take, maybe a little bit of nationalism, maybe national socialism, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, hey, it would get me off the throttling list of YouTube, so I wouldn't particularly mind.
Arch is like, nice, uncensored and boosted. Thank you. Beautiful.
And that's, of course, the interesting thing as well, as bearing in mind this has not been confirmed, but there appears that Twitch has a do not ban list for people as well, where they list various entities that should not be banned for any reason, or at the very least they should be elevated up to Twitch's, head of content creation team. So there is a privileged class of certain content creators.
My God. Beautiful. How do I enter this list? Whose dick do I gotta suck? And by me, I mean Arch. Arch will do it on my behalf. He's a good friend. Isn't that right? Think about it. We could have diplomatic immunity.
See, it's one of those things. You know they're doing it. You absolutely know that they are doing these things. You know there are channels being boosted. You know some channels are being suppressed. This is not a very well-kept secret at this point. And the same is absolutely for Twitch as well. I mean, they've even admitted this publicly, where they've pointed out that certain channels got preferential treatment because they, flirted, basically, with the content team over at Twitch. But to have it be so blatant again, part of me is annoyed, part of me is just like, yeah, we know.
Don't worry about it. We'll just get into the inner circle. We need to start flirting with people, too. Hey, how you doing? Come here often?
Somehow I suspect it would be far less effective, frankly, weirdly enough.
Listen, a voice changer, a little bit of Photoshop, you can be as pretty as anybody you want to be.
Or simply just skip the middleman entirely and just go with being a VTuber, like Kyle.
You think I'm some petty VTuber? Bitch, I'm a PNG tuber. I'm ahead of the curve. Return to
There
pictures.
is also going to be a little bit of other fallout over this as well, in all due likelihood, as several of the usual media outlets have noticed that only 3% of Twitch highest paid streamers are women. Oh.
Oh no. Better increase their pay unfairly above the males. Oh.
Better boost them a little bit more. Or alternatively, just start eating the males, I guess. Why not too?
I mean, they can do both at the same time. Go faster.
There's even those that were trying to get aboard the recent Facebook coup d'etat train by saying that Twitch has several times endangered people. They have put safety aside for increased profits. And by safety here, we mean that they haven't banned people en masse for naughty words in chat. So, yes, the usual.
Oh, man. The situation is interesting, but it does bring to light a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So it's good that a lot more people will be aware of the crap that goes behind the scenes. So they won't go like, oh yeah, no, Twitch is a pretty good place. Like, if you want to get into streaming, you should still use every tool you have access to, because you're the one at a disadvantage. But it's always good to understand what you're working with.
An interesting little thing as well is that a lot of the other streamers who were revealed on the list as well, a lot of them have actually seen quite a bit of their audience begin to leave them too, because it's been kind of like a little bit of a shattering of the illusion. It's interesting. This is that parasocial relationship where a lot of people watch these content creators and they viewed them like just normal people, right? Regular people, just another guy living in a tiny little room, poorly lit in a basement somewhere. And Hasan Piker does this too, where he records in this tiny little sparsely furnitured room as he dresses like a drug addicted transsexual, frankly. And yet, of course, these people are millionaires, multi-millionaires. And a lot of people have been wondering how much of this is an affected persona. Indeed.
It's probably an act. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to content creators, let's be honest. We've met a few. We don't need to name names, but we've met a few that, well, you and I, that are not who they seem they are behind closed doors. It's just the nature of the biz. Some people put on a face. Some people are honest about it. Some people put on like a sort of skit, like Razorfist does, where it's like he plays the character Rageaholic, and it's, funny, it's amusing. And some people pretend they're people they're not. Hasan Piker seems to be the latter.
The latter. Communism for thee.
But not for me. Good for him. I mean, at least he's not a communist, right? So there's some good news here, guys. One less communist. Right?
Right.
Just a
we
scam
can
artist.
cure them by just giving them enough money.
They realize, like, yes. I mean, anybody's going to be cured if they have enough money. See, the thing is, what nobody will tell you is everybody has a price. It's just, how high is it?
How high? Well, for Hasan, it's millions of dollars. Let's see a couple more of the super chats then, as I too do my best to become the socialist Hasan Piker wants us all to be. Oh, God. Oh, YouTube, don't move the thing, so I don't know where I was. There we are. Brother Strato says, Arch, you are right. There will be seasons and battle passes with new heroes. Ah, of course. This whole battle pass thing is something I genuinely loathe. It's DLC you have to work to unlock. I mean, what is this? What is this thing? And why is it accepted?
That's stupid. See, the thing is, they did something good, actually. Not with this. The DICE guys finally Battlefield 1 was the last game in which they had the cancerous policy where maps were, what was it? Map packs were still a thing. Map packs are the killers of shooters because they divide the player base. Every time any shooter does a map pack, map packs are just bad. And they stopped doing them. It's like, oh my gosh, good job, Dice, you did it. Like, thank you. It's like, but we still want to milk it a little, you know? So we're going to do a hero pass. Cancer. And you know those heroes are going to be broken, too. It's going to be pay to win. Search your feelings, Bart. You know it to be true.
I mean, that is the potential suspicion, yes. Like, they'll add in a hero who has armor, for example. He reduces all incoming damage by like 25%. And you're like, okay, that just makes this hero objectively better than all the others, doesn't it?
It's like, what else? What's the trade-off for that? Well, you see, he cost $10. Give him that's the trade-off.
You see, the trade-off is he requires a credit card.
New trade offer. You give me $10, I give you broken character.
I mean, that's certainly something. Kirsten Cinema says, disgusting Biden supporters followed and recorded me going into the bathroom whilst harassing me.
What?
Only thing Biden can build back better is the Taliban. I hope the footage is not sent to Hunter and Joe to get off on hashtag Let Go Brandon.
That's pretty fucked up.
That is pretty fucked up, but such is life.
I mean, if people start doing that, don't be afraid to call the police. And it doesn't sound like it's directly an emergency, but a non-emergency line, You're like, hey, there's some people here and there, they're harassing me. Unless you're afraid for your life, then call the emergency number.
Following people into bathrooms sounds like a decidedly American thing, and I will absolutely disavow it unilaterally.
Following somebody into the bathroom, like that's the point when like you draw your gun. It's like, bro, I'm taking a shit. Either you're gonna be eating shit or you can leave.
I disavow Kyle's calls for violence and point out that he is a bad person.
What are you talking about? I merely advocate for self-defense.
Glowy says, Hasan Piker, the true capitalist. He gets socialists to pay him by telling them what they want to hear. He has his own simps. And I mean, you gotta respect the grind, I guess. I mean, you could kind of argue that this is a product he's selling, isn't it? Like, he's selling the fairy tale. Like, oh, look at this. This is the socialist fairy tale. And people pay him money to tell them these things. I mean, how much different is this? This is like those old call this hotline to have woman whisper sweet nothings in your ear kind of thing.
Yeah.
Except this is way, way more expensive. Oh well. It's a business model.
I mean, at least it is a model.
Evil Potato says Hasan doesn't only make shit tons, but he makes shit tons by just stealing other people's content. He just streams videos, it doesn't really comment on them. He's not even in the room half the time. He's even admitted in streams he knows it's wrong. Okay. Well.
I mean, at least he's honest.
I suppose,
you gotta look at the bright side of life. This is one thing.
I consider myself quite lucky that I have not watched any of Hasan Piker's content, so I can't really comment, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, this is kind of the reaction channel thing, I suppose. The reaction channels on YouTube have been just the bane of YouTube forever, because the thing is, it is rather popular content for reasons that I will never truly be able to understand, where you do have a person just sitting there kind of like gawping at a video clip. I don't understand it. I don't think I want to understand it. But this has now made its way into the political spectrum, which is probably the last place it should ever be, but oh well. God, do you remember back in the day when Twitch had a rule that you only talk about games in Twitch chat?
My God, that's remarkably based.
Like, it used to be that the Twitch hoes were over there and they would have like a recording of League of Legends playing. It's like a tiny little cutout in the corner
Oh my
because it
God,
was legally required. Like, you have to play video games on Twitch.
it's remarkably based. Return
The good old days.
to Twitch tradition. I don't know. I guess.
Yes. Return to Twitch tradition. Black 1917, Squeck and Hail ArchChrist, our Lord and Savior. Also, the difference between 2042 and Siege is that Siege characters have different gear and abilities and are class specific. Ah, Kyle, you've been owned. What do you have to say to the defense?
What specifically did I get owned by?
By Black. He has pointed out that the
Black
Siege characters
1917
are
can't
actually
own
even more
anybody.
difficult and good.
They're
better.
not better. I know
Yeah.
because I have several friends who played Siege and they won't stop complaining about it.
I would also say that they're objectively better because I've seen some of the Siege characters. I would consider approaching them with pants unfastened.
Are
Whereas
you sure
in
you've seen the
Battlefield
Siege characters that are coming out now?
now, no.
He's
But
like, wait.
I have seen some of them. Whereas the only female character I've seen in Battlefield 2042 is a 70-year-old grandma who, for some reason, has been given a gun and told out to fight for the Vaterland.
He's
Which-
like, for Russia, I'm from the Netherlands. I'm guessing I have no idea where she's from.
All I know is that somebody decided to send an old woman to the front line. And whilst in theory I do not object to using the old, the infirm, and the women as meat shields, I still find it to be a little bit of an extreme action.
Well, think about it. This is all about egalitarianism, right? And a true egalitarian is not afraid to send children as well. And I support this idea. I don't want to go die, but little Timmy here, who's 6, can go die in my stead. Good luck, Timmy.
That is
thanks.
absolutely true. There is a problem here. There are no underage characters in Battlefield 2042.
Where are my child
Think about
soldiers?
Yes, add in child soldiers. Not only would you draw in a far more inclusive and broad audience, you'd get all of the socialists coming along as well.
You'd be like, children, playable characters. Why are you just staring at the model? It's like, oh no. Just play
A
the
rising
game.
problem of teabagging in the Battlefield 2042 community.
Oh no. We're attracting the
I
wrong
encourage
kind of
this.
audience.
Alright. Listen here, Dice. You're a Swedish company, so you already are completely and utterly morally bankrupt. We need child soldiers. Immediately. Get on it.
Child soldiers, yep. Oh, then they can go back and bring back the handicapped soldiers. We need that back again. Listen,
Yep.
we need everybody. Everybody must be willing to die for this cause. I don't know what they're fighting for in Battlefield. I have no idea. I don't even care. But they all need to die.
The
Emphasis on
old, the
dying.
weak, the infirm, all of them need to go before me in the line.
Listen, this is all about egalitarianism, guys. We are very inclusive here. They can all die ahead of us. The infants can be given a
Egalite.
gun, and if they can't,
Liberté.
field the gun, you can
Iron
just
squads.
do the thing the Vietnamese did. Just give them a grenade.
Yeah. They can dig a hole in the ground, clutch onto the grenade, and just be a landmine. I don't see a problem with this.
When they walk on top of you, Timmy, pull the pin.
Yeah, Timmy go to heaven then? Yes.
Timmy, meet God. Timmy. Hello, Jeebus. Oh, Timmy. He did deserve it.
He did. Timmy was a cunt, and everybody agrees.
Always whining at the table, I tell you, that Tim boy. What you get for not eating your asparagus?
Jack the Outcast says, bad gameplay, unstable engine, broken mechanics, server disconnect, and stuttering, you say. Sounds like your average AAA game to me. 10 out of 10.
My God.
I mean, he's not wrong.
What's a AAA game that's come out recently that's actually been decent?
Well, decent.
Like good or
Now we're starting to
fun.
stretch definitions again here, aren't we?
Well, it's not even that. Like what's the last AAA you let me rephrase. What's the last AAA you played that you thought was fun?
I mean, New World for me is hitting that like B-list stride. Like, I don't hate it, but part of me wonders why I'm not just playing Arc, so I don't really know if that qualifies. Um, Pathfinder is more like double to single A.
I think that might be double A.
Steel Division and Wargame is definitely like single A.
Who's the published? Focus Home Interactive?
Focus on Eugene. Eugene is like a 70-man studio.
But Eugene's a developer or publisher?
Eugene's the publisher. No, Focus is the publisher. Eugene is the developer. Jesus.
Yeah, Focus are publishers. Focus.
I mean, AAA. Like, I don't know if I can bloody remember. Almost.
I am happy that a lot more people that are mad at the new Battlefield about stuff that's not working are like actually specifically singling out DICE now. It's like good. Put it directly on them. Don't let them hide behind their publisher. Don't let them hide. The publisher's at fault. Don't get me wrong, but they're at fault too.
Oh yes.
They don't get to worm away.
DICE has just delivered miss after miss after miss after miss now for a very long time.
Some might say it's kind of dicey.
Yeah, they need to go to the way of Westwood, the EA-ification of their company.
Take them out back with a double-barreled shotgun and fucking
gently rest the shotgun to the nape of their neck. You know, fight back a single tear as you pull the trigger.
You know, Bessie, it's time for you to go, Bessie. I love you.
As the little retarded DICE creature holds up another repackaged Battlefield 1942, but we can make another one. No, it's too late for that.
We can make another one. Oh, I do love this tragic scene. It makes me happy. We need this animated.
And Nick Mattis says, I think Arch would have liked Nuclear Dawn. Commander did everything in 2042 and also buildings and research upgrades. Also, fluffy booby Arch cat best Arch. Okay. Fluffy booby cat Arch.
That sounds like a furry thing. I'm alarmed. That sounds like a furry thing.
It depends on how much fur. It could just simply be Neko. Which is
if it's just the cat ears, then it won't be, taken out back with the double barrel. But if it's anything more...
I think I played Nuclear Dawn like once, years and years ago, and I was kind of like, I moved on.
There was actually Nuclear Dawn came out in that. I think it's on the Source engine. Was it when that style, like little genre, that subgenre of shooters, like the classical or not classical? It's not classical at all. FPS RTS hybrid genre was kind of like having a little bit of a resurgence.
A little bit of a resurgent, he says. See, I'm looking through my Steam list right now, and like I guess the last AAA game I at least kind of enjoyed in part was probably Cyberpunk. And that says something. Like the last AAA game I can remember kind of enjoying, at least in part, was the game that I was just like, it could have been so much more. But at least it wasn't that much less.
Yeah.
What a sad and pathetic world we live in.
It's a world. It's been sometimes. But nobody knows why.
Nobody
actually
knows
they figured it out. The science.
The science says that people are too lazy. That's the problem.
People are lazy. Rotund, fat people. We've heard a lot of Americans fat. Tragic. The access to food is a tragedy. The fact that they don't stop themselves, though.
Our final little topic for today, at least of the regular ones. California, that place that hopefully will sink beneath the waves as global warming grows ever steadily more advantageous to the human race. is objecting to Blizzard surrendering to the EEOC. For those of you who do not know, Blizzard is currently being sued by like 6 different governmental agencies at this point. And one of them was the EEOC, the Equal Opportunity Labor something something organization. America has too many of these goddamn letters, frankly. And Blizzard decided to pay them $18 million for a diversity and inclusion initiative, and also to take aboard a series of diversity and inclusion commissars, which would just chill around the Activision Blizzard lobby, looking over the shoulders of the employees and going like, "Is that inclusive, sir?" And they would just cringe away in fear like a beaten dog. No, no,
See,
please.
that's not how I imagine. I imagine they go up to him like, "Excuse me, sir, are you black?" And be like, "Whoa, no. Sorry, you're not black enough. Get out."
They have a color chart. They just go across the employees. They've got a list checking them off like, do we have a certain percentage of correct skin colors?
Imagine that being the focus of your fucking studio. Like, it's like, should we focus on making fun and cool games in a really cool, fantastical setting? No, let's focus on the color skin of everyone that works here. Are you brown? You're not brown enough. Oh, you're too white. I'm gonna have to, take you out back.
You get called into a meeting with a diversity commissar, and they're like, so, Tyrone, we've taken a look at your resume, and we're afraid we're gonna have to let you go. Like, what? Why? Well, we've met our quota of black people, but if you are willing to wear a turban, we still have some openings in the Arab division. Allahu Akbar.
Or fucking Tyrone gets fired because, like, sorry, Tyrone. It turns out you're just a biracial kid. We need the pure blacks instead. Like
we had a deep dive into your family tree, and turns out you're only 1/4 black.
Like they go full Nancy. Like it's like absolutely absurd. It's like
the man fall on his knees and is like, "No,
you're 4% Hispanic. Into the ovens." Like, no. What the fuck is this? This is the worst part is like we're joking, but it's like right on the head. Though.
We're not far away from reality. That's the problem. See, this is why we need animators to just make this stuff for us. That's the problem.
An animated skit of everything we say. That's going to be one of the spurgiest things we'd ever seen. That the internet has ever seen.
Unfortunately, animators don't grow on trees, which is damn annoying, frankly.
They don't, and they're kind of pricey little bastards, aren't they?
They are, but see, the price wouldn't even be a problem. I just need them, because I got money for them. It's like, here, have money. It's like, no, they don't exist.
No, I'm gonna go on. The problem with animators, like, the real problem is always that either the people that made it are working for a studio already, and the people that aren't either lack the skill, or B, they simply aren't interested in working, or C, you're gonna get super lucky and you're gonna find somebody like we did. Like when we found our animator, we're like, oh my god, we've been digging through this trash pit for eons and we finally found a gem. Tragic, but true.
It is absolutely awful. I'm gonna have to just start, I don't know, chasing through universities, just camping outside somewhere like, do you know how to do this? Like, no.
Hey kid, you see, you wanna come work for me? You got this, like, Mafian accent, because, you're gonna take him under your wing, train to be your protege.
Wing, basement, you mean?
Look, wing, basement, whatever you lie to him to get into the basement is up to you.
Why is there chains down here? And this little bowl off in the corner.
Here's locking sounds behind.
But to return to the point here, so the problem is, after having settled with the federal agency, because there's a pecking order here, the California thing, the DFEH, which is the Department for Housing and Equal Employment and such on nonsense, they're just a local entity. So if Blizzard wanted to, they could just pack up their shit and go, moving to Texas now, and they would be sat there like, oh, why? But a federal agency, they can prosecute them wherever they might try to land, so they need to deal with them first. And they did. And now, California is suing Blizzard again for settling with the federal company. But they do, of course, have an excuse, and their excuse is that the diversity commissars, they might cooperate with Activision Blizzard to purge their ranks of sexists. Oh God, no. They might remove evidence of their sexist behavior, you see. In other words, they might do what California is asking them to do, and then California wouldn't be able to sue them for millions of dollars.
Because maybe all these claims are baseless because we have no, I haven't seen any actual evidence of anything occurring yet.
Yes, and that's the huge problem. If Blizzard can be like, hold on a second there, we have this report from federal agents, the actual federal agents who lives in our bloody office now, and she didn't manage to find anybody touching the female employees. Like, that's pretty good evidence for the fact that they have probably done everything in their power to crack down on this. And that is, of course, the crux of the Californian argument that they aren't doing enough to deal with this.
This is just dumb.
Oh,
This issue is still
Blizzard.
dumb, and I wonder how long it's going to last, and I kind of wonder how it's all going to play out.
Oh, this is gonna last forever. Like, because there's still like 5 agencies they need to deal with. But Blizzard doesn't seem to want to just roll over on most of this either. They seem to be going like, okay, we'll deal with the federal one because they've got a lot more leverage and they can make our lives a lot more miserable, frankly. Plus, 18 million bucks is probably like 1 month's worth of subscription for World of Warcraft. I
If
probably don't
that-
even care.
Like that game still, like, Jesus. Let's say it only has 1 million players left, right? Or whatever. And the subscription's what, $30? How much money is that?
Too much.
A lot.
I'm not even going to attempt to do the math because I can't do math. But it's too much. I mean, 18 million bucks, that probably isn't even their microtransactions from Hearthstone. Like, it's nothing to Activision Blizzard.
It makes so much money.
They make so much money. It's an absolute joke. And now, of course, California is sat there with their hands out, and they might only get shit in their hands, unfortunately. Tragic though that might be. Then they hold it and close their eyes. It gets really warm, like, hold on. Not what we asked for, Mr. Activision, as they see the moving trucks leaving Austin, Texas.
Don't worry about it. Honestly, I don't blame a business for wanting to move state because of, those reasons. Because a lot of those states can get very intrusive into people's, their businesses, which are their business.
I would view it as a very, very positive thing as we started to see a move away from a lot of these areas and towards the more straight up libertarian areas. Now, in this case, bear in mind as well, I'm using libertarian in the traditional sense, not in the American sense. And building up around the states like Texas. Because Texas has its flaws as well. I'm not saying it's perfect. Hell, even the Heartbeat Act thing. I have no dog in the fight on abortion, but it's like, I think it's probably a little bit too strict. But at the same time, the other side pushed it so far in the opposite direction that a extreme reaction is unavoidable right now. And in fact, in the gaming space, we need an extreme reaction. Imagine the kind of Blizzard we might see if they're completely relieved from all of the restrictions of California, the culture of California, the SJWism. Maybe we will actually see a Blizzard that once again goes like, no, we just want to make cool games. I mean, it's a pipe dream, but one can hope.
It's not actually impossible. There's actually validity to the idea of that, because a company, the thing is, often too many people look at a studio and they go like, it says, Activision. That mean Activision and Activision. It's like, well, yes, but it really depends on who's in charge. And if the people in a studio change, naturally the culture of it changes, and that is reflected in their works.
Absolutely. That's why we get Company of Heroes and Dawn of War 3 from Relic. It's like, we forgot how to make video games. Yes, we can tell.
RTS like MOBA, right? It's like, no.
People want MOBA, right?
Push.
This giant spinning cannon, this is 40k, right?
Push lane. Good money.
We have a cultural problem in gaming, and that is simply just the unfortunate reality of the matter. And maybe a new culture might provide the solution, at least to parts of the problem. If nothing else, it would be worth a try. Like, okay, let's see. Maybe they get better if they move, possibly. Maybe they remain just as absolute garbage as ever. Who knows? Sadness overcomes the kid.
And you.
Yeah, but, you know.
Sadness overcomes you harder than me. I think you're projecting onto Kip. Kip's sitting here smiling, going like, there's donuts in the refrigerator. But I can't reach them.
That should make you sad, though.
But I will reach them. It's only a matter of time. It is inevitable that they will be mine.
Let's move on then to some super chats again. Marked Ashamed says, as soon as Command Modern Operation gets a multiplayer, you have to force Kyle to play a game. If that is too much, then a total annihilation style game like Planetary Annihilation, Supreme Commander, or Beyond All Reason. Kyle has already promised to play Command when it becomes multiplayer, and it will be hilarious.
He's got to see. I keep like I tell Arch 1,000 times, right? Like I told him, like, oh, Factory's pretty good. You should try it. And he's like, meh, 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 and he played like, hey, it's pretty good. It's like, God damn it! I tell him like Supreme Commander FAF with like co-op mod is like or co-op campaign is quite fun. Meh, meh, meh. He'll play and like, meh, it's actually kind of good. Like it's always the same. It always repeats.
Kyle has like one example of that. Meanwhile, I'm looking over at Sea of Thieves, Pulsar, Deep Rock.
Sea of Thieves was a group idea, and you are the one who proposed it.
I don't think this is correct.
I have.
To be fair, Sea of Thieves was fun for one episode when we didn't know what we were doing, and even then, in the first episode, I was carrying crates, and I was like, "This'll get old fast."
And it did. I love how. Did. So like this Friday we went in with the assumption like we're gonna do Sea of Thieves, and like everyone sort of showed up and they're all glum, and I'm like, you guys want to just like do something else? Like, So we played Creeper World. Was Creeper World 4 instead, which is a much better game. Oh.
And then Kyle made Disco very mad, and I had to yell at Kyle for doing
that. Oh, I think somebody's deflecting, because the VOD has proof of other.
It was mean.
Disco got mad at Blondie.
But Command Modded Operations will be hilarious when we try to do that multiplayer, because I'll have to explain things to Kyle. Like, yes, you see, you all need to open this box. Why am I being assaulted by numbers? Because that's this game. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
See,
it'll be hilarious.
I could just go back to EVE Online, and if I wanted to play an Excel spreadsheet game.
Oh, the thing is, you haven't seen an actual Excel spreadsheet yet, my boy.
I don't want to see an Excel spreadsheet. Like,
I always love showing Command to new people because they're so fucking confused what's going on. Wait, do I have to learn all of this? Yes.
The thing is, Arch doesn't play a lot of games. Like, I play a lot more games than he does. But the thing is, he has this select group of games he'll play, and he'll just be like, I'm going to play these to the point of absurdity. That's Arch, in a nutshell.
That's not true. It's a filthy, dirty lie, frankly.
If it wasn't for me, he'd probably only play 3 games.
Vladimir Dragonov says, a fool and his money are soon parted. Yes. That is a very true statement.
True.
Evil Potato. Hasan doesn't only make shit tons... Oh, that one. F. Joe Biden. Hey, Arch, did you know in Pennsylvania there's a new bill that introduced forced sterilization of men over the age of 40 or have 3 children? Kind of reminds me of eugenics, and of course, Democrats are advocating for it. Hashtag, let's go, Brandon. Introducing a legislative suggestion, I suppose, then. I mean, that's fair, you know. Just start castrating people randomly by law. I'm sure that's not a problem. See, this I need we need. Well, you don't. You're fine, but I need to live to the point where I can transfer my brain into a robot because I want to see what the history books write about this era in time. Like I want to see the chapter. And oh yes, and at one point they were forcibly sterilizing people. This was after they made people wear armbands for the vaccine.
I mean, at least they did something for them.
God. More and more, I genuinely think that we are actually like we were in a golden age. We're heading for a dark age now, boys. Strap in. Chloe says to prove how inclusive us white men have become, we will allow all the minorities to be our meat shields. I mean, our soldiers of freedom. I don't disagree. I mean, hey, we can open up immigration, and all you have to do is sign up for the army for a short period of time.
Ah, yes.
Little
Service
hello.
guarantees citizenship.
Sure, guarantee citizenship, yes. Now, the problem will be the Austrian army one where we start issuing orders of the day in 18 languages. That gets confusing quick.
The commanding officer of a battalion has to have 12 translators. Oh, the Austro-Hungarian army's a beautiful thing, Arch.
Well, beautiful is one word for it.
It's miraculous they managed to relatively hold their ground as they did.
Well, the miracle is partially named Germany and secondly named Russian logistics.
Listen, they were able to beat back the Italians a little bit.
Little
Like,
bit.
that's because they're Italian, though.
Because they're Italians, yes. Juggernaut Demon. The women aren't making as much because they make the majority of their money from OnlyFans and such. Amun Ra, for example, makes 1.2 million a month from OnlyFans. Ali Money makes her money there too. Amun Ra. Right. DuckDuckGo. Let's see. Is this woman worth 1.2 million a month? You know what? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe, Kyle. Maybe.
Are you ready to become a
Then
socialist?
again, I feel like I could gain much of the same effect from this woman's OnlyFans by simply just Googling her name. But details? I guess.
The thing is, the whole idea with, like, it's kind of like the Patreon thing, you know, or Subscribestar if you have exclusive pictures or whatever, or art that you release. I don't even do that anymore. Like, it's all free now, the art we make. But, like, I like, if somebody wanted to, they could just, like, group buy. If you're familiar with group buying, right? Like, it's a group of people buy into something so they can get access to it and then they all share it. This might
It's
be
a
a funny
weird
concept.
communist idea, Kyle, and I condemn it.
Listen, in the anti-piracy field I work, this is not an uncommon strategy that is employed to get access to things. But, like,
Kyle,
it's the same
why
principle.
don't you become an piracy agent for an e-thought? Like you would increase their income massively if you could just take down all of the pictures on the internet.
You know how you know what? If they
See,
pay me enough, sure.
he's mulling that over because he's like, yeah, I mean, I probably could.
I mean, most of those porn sites are normally based in the U.S. or in a Western place that has to operate with a DMCA. So that's kind of nice. I don't remember too many Iranian ones, but I don't really check the ISPs, you know? God damn Iranians. Or Chinese. Fuck the Chinese ones
China
specifically.
number one.
Fuck them specifically.
Marked ashamed, there are only two types of communists, Stalinists and Trotskyists. Well, no, there's a third type of communists as well. Austrians.
Listen, Austrians are happy little lads. They got their little tiny country. They're tinier than they were. God, they're really tiny.
I still think Austria should be a part of Germany because it's just a dumb little place. I
Ew,
don't enjoy it
no.
being a nation.
See, I agree with Bubbles on this. Germany shouldn't be a state. It should be smashed and broken up into various states. That way they can stop being a friggin' problem and a tumor for the rest of the world. At least cut Bavaria loose. I want to see how much border gore it looks when Bavaria's free. So like this weird little upside down L. Like, help, I'm retarded looking.
Kristen Cinema. I am a Arizona Congress senator and Biden supporter engaged in insurrection by recording me in the bathroom. They are angry because I won't support $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. I disavow Christopher M. Raab for introducing an eugenic bills in quotation marks. So I guess that was a Arizona Congress senator that got followed into the bathroom. Well, you know, a little bit of privacy. You don't need that. It's fine.
Just a bench.
Glowy, diversity officer is inspecting a business, questioning a CEO. Comrade, we have been informed you have more than one white employee. Be ashamed if your business got shut down. White employee makes noise. Diversity officer, they're in the walls. Fire.
Oh my god! Like Activision Blizzard they're at work and the comment starts coming in like quick, like all the white staff like there's like a black dude's like guiding the white people like quickly like as they crawl into a wall. I'd like shh, and they're holding like the little heartbeat thing to the wall to see if there's any people there.
We're actually gonna have the reverse underground railroad where black people will smuggle white programmers in and out of the Blizzard offices.
You know, this could be a good movie. So this needs to happen so that they can make this into a movie so that it just looks absolutely ridiculous.
Again, we need an animator. That's what we need.
We'll make the movie.
We'll make one of those. We need one of those animators who makes those little figurines, the little simple bubble-headed ones. That's what we need.
Yeah, go find one. Chop.
Difficult though.
Difficult though, Mr. Money. But you could probably pay somebody to go find one. Yeah,
sounds like a waste of money.
Mr. I want to waste money, Mr.
Hagnar the Viking, Sargon went live. F for your view count. As he shows later on as well. Sargaruni. Well, it's fine. He probably has forgot to turn on his audio, so we'll have a while longer.
It's fine. Actually, I did look at the viewer count on this stream before you mentioned that, and it's actually gone up.
There you go. Sargaruni is, if anything, a positive influence on our numbers.
Sargon's content is, let's say, lacking. The ArchCast clearly is the superior choice.
Kind of being mean to my Sargon, and I disavow this.
Listen,
Sargon
your little fucking old boomer boy is sitting there by his lonesome in his own little sad, tiny box around his head with his old little boomer body, while we're sitting here with a slightly bigger box around our heads. Because there's two of us. So you can bounce.
Slightly bigger box.
It's still a box.
Fair, we do have an interface.
It's
like we've got wood stuff around it. It's much fancier. It's true.
Yeah, much higher quality, some might say. Better artistic direction.
Brett Veldheim get the feeling that Wizards of the Coast funnel a lot of Critical Role's money through Twitch to promote them. Ah yes, Critical Role was like the highest earning on Twitch, like $3 million or something.
Oh god. That's insane how much money they make.
That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money for watching D&D. There's no doubt about it. They have done a very good job in that regard, no doubt. I tried to watch one of those because, like, okay, everybody loves this. Let's try watching some of it. I really did not see the charm, but
Wait, is that the one with Joss Whedon or whatever his name is? Not Joss Whedon. Who's the guy from Next Generation chat that everyone hates? Wesley Crusher, the character. What's that loser's name in real life? Is that the guy who runs that show? Come on, chat, catch up. Come on, stream, get there. So I want to see the answer. Come on. They know.
Nobody knows the answer to these.
I'm shaking the chat bank of knowledge. Impart upon me your wisdom, you group of people. Will Wheaton. Is Will Wheaton the guy who runs that show? Now answer that question.
No. How should I know?
I like how they all answer to it's like several dozen Will Wheatons. Oh, Will Wheaton, so cancer. Critical role. Here, I'm gonna Google it real quick. I gotta know. Google.
I
Will
don't even know who the hell this person is.
Wheaton. Critical race theory. No, not critical race theory. What's the critical role? Fuck. You made me type in critical race theory. Why did I think that? Alright, so, critical role. Does he run it? I think he does. No, it's run by Matt Mercer. I don't even know what that is. Oh my god, look at Will Wheaton. He looks like such a fucking weasel. Look at that. Arch doesn't know who this guy is, but he's such a loser. You need to see how
Kyle's
loser he
being
looks.
mean to someone unknown on the internet again.
Look at him. Look at his... Look at that face. Look at him. He's so sad. Critical role theory? He's a sellout. Yeah, I know he's a sellout.
Do I have to disavow Kyle now?
I don't think anybody here likes Will Wheaton. Most people don't like him.
I mean, he's clearly being made, he's clearly earning a lot of money, so somebody likes him. Don't be mean.
It's not being mean, it's being honest. Shut up, Wesley. That's the spirit chat. See, nobody likes him. No. He's a guest on Critical Role. Okay.
I have learned something new about this that I don't know if I wanted to know.
What'd you learn?
That Will Wheaton is a human being.
Will Wheaton is... See, you're blessed. Arch is partially blessed because he doesn't like Star Trek, but he also doesn't watch The Next Generation. He's never seen it, so he doesn't know that this character named Wesley Crusher that Will Wheaton played as a kid is cancer, and that he grew up to be cancer. That's the hilarious part. He played a whiny little annoying brat, and he grows up to be a whiny annoying human being. Is there a bit of wind background? That might be from my fan. It should have been moved over there, but let's move the microphone further away.
Now that Kyle's had his portion of anti-Will Wheaton-ism.
Look at chat. They're just shitting on Will Wheaton now. Even Disco joined in. Arch is like, I feel left out of the loop. Oh, see...
I'm just going to assume that he's probably a lovely person now. That's what I'm going to do.
Too funny.
He's probably receiving a lot of unfair hatred for his work as a children's puppies advisor.
Doubt it.
Vladimir Dragonov says, to be fair, that old woman looks to be in great physical shape. Well, I guess yes, but still an old woman. I still feel confident that even being a couch potato... English. Even being the couch potato I am, I could outrun most old women, frankly. I'm rather confident. Especially when it comes to being a soldier. And what was it that US Marine colonel said? The reason why there's not more women in the military is because when you put a 60-pound backpack on a woman, she crumples like a fucking biscuit.
That was funny. Oh god, I remember we watched that, didn't we? We watched it together, if I remember right. Was it crumpled like a little bit? Crumples like a fucking biscuit or something like that.
No, I don't remember his exact verbiage. It was something American.
It was something very American.
Crouton. Crumples like a crouton. I don't know what a crouton is, but...
Croutons are like little crunchy things that go in the salad, like little crunchy dried bread.
Okay, there you go. Crumples like a crunchy dry bread.
Which, as you know, dry bread is very, crumbly. Well, it's baked bread, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like crumples like a biscuit more, because biscuits kind of fall in on themselves when you apply a pressure to them. And then
a good biscuit is really good, though. Now I'm hungry. Dead.
Vladimir Dragonov says, sorry, Tyrone, you're 102% black with 2% margin of error. Poor Tyrone. Why is Tyrone being bullied? That's a good question.
Tyrone and Timmy. Any name with a T is always the thing that's you. Have you ever noticed that?
Never name anyone anything with the T. It's just cruel and inhumane.
The letter T is the like if your name starts with a T, you're on the bottom of the pecking order.
It's just a cursed letter, and you should avoid it.
You're a Timmy or you're a Tyrone. Get to the back. Like, no, Timmy.
Back off the bus now.
Big old cancel. Memes wouldn't be funny if they weren't good shit posts.
Galois says, no more Californian refugees. I would take any migrant or refugee over them. Give me the Taliban. They might kill a few of us, but we can at least shoot at them. That is a quote also, so somebody said that. Hopefully in a politician.
True.
Oh, Californians. Now, I did like that skit we saw with the black dude who played all of the roles, and he was like, what do we do about that? Points towards a Californian entering, like, yeah, all that. Slams the abortion bill on the table. That was funny. Kyle doesn't remember, because he's a racist.
No, I'm just looking at chat. I was hoping somebody with a T in their name would like say something like, yeah, but my name starts with a T, and they'd be like, ha, but so far nobody's complaining about the fact that one of them has to have a name with a T. Probably posing. They're like, oh yeah, fuck Tony, ha ha ha. As he's like,
To be fair, Tony Stark is a good name, but Tony alone is not very good.
Tony Hawk.
No, he's a bit of a bastard as well. We don't like him here.
He's
we
old now.
Him.
He
is, but he is still one of the children.
The children?
Yeah, he plays with those boards with wheels on them.
Oh, see, when I think
those
Tony
were
Hawk,
illegal here for a while.
When I think Tony Hawk, I think of the PlayStation 2 game that was kind of fun. I was like, yeah, that's kind of a fun video game.
No. He plays with wooden boards with wheels on them. That's his profession. Kyle, don't you even know this?
Yeah, he does it in a video game.
Kyle has like no sense of pop culture, whereas Art need to inform him about these pop cultural things.
Like, I was like 8 or 9 when Tony Hawk was relevant.
He plays with a board with wheels on it, and he wears his hat backwards, and he's a thing that does this. This is normal. Kyle, why don't you understand?
Doesn't he still do skateboarding, actually?
Don't know. How should I know?
How old is he? Like, God, that's gotta be painful. That's gotta... Like, my hip.
Probably used to it.
Terrible.
Mark Shame says, Arch confirmed core scum for freedom for the arm. I think that's a Battletech reference. Kyle.
Freedom for the what?
ARM. ARM.
Didn't he say core as well?
Yes.
ARM and core are the two factions in Total Annihilation's universe. ARM are the people that are still individualists. They are not part they haven't been digitized, I believe, or something like that. Versus core were the rest of humanity that was basically like ascended to the next digital realm. And that's what the war is about in Total Annihilation. Ew. It's not a Battletech reference.
cringe gamer reference. Disavow.
What? You love Total Annihilation, don't you? At least, even if you don't love it, it's literally what led to Supreme Commander.
Cringe. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Archman sad. Archman uncultured. Arch, it's literally, that game is older than me, and I found that game, I was like, wow, Total Annihilation's sick. I remember playing Total Annihilation when Dawn of War was out, because I just found it on a CD. I was like, wow, this game's cool, like little beep boops, and they shoot each other. And the Pee-wee bots or whatever shoot like little pew-pews in the sky.
All I hear is Kyle making cringy noises now. I'm just going to keep disavowing
At least chat understands. It's got really good music, too.
Stefan West, 1991, says, Go Kibbs, you can do it for money. I'm probably referring to Kyle's promise to dress like a woman at some point in the near future.
I feel like you have inserted that, because I read that when it was posted, and that was in reference to me, like, working for eThoughts, take down their loots.
To be fair, you'd probably earn quite a lot of money on that. It would be a target-rich environment, too. The amount of their nudes that probably leak on the internet.
It might be
they can afford to pay you well.
It might be an endless work order. It might be like the Eternal War. It just doesn't end.
It probably would be, but the thing is, Kyle, if it's money you're paid for, isn't an endless quantity of it preferable?
True, but I do take pride in the fact that when I start on a project, at least with anti-piracy, that by the time we're nearing its completion, or well, continued service, I guess if you could call it, because it never ends, that it's to manageable levels to the point where you can barely find it.
See, Kyle is a service thing. Like, he's one of those people who's like, actually, you can never stop paying me.
Why do you think? You're damn right. You gotta have to have Kib services forever.
See, I told you.
Give
never
me
trust
months.
Kyle.
Give me months.
Never trust Kyle. He's a vile and despicable little creature. Matamax says, I shall now begin my transitional journey into a boomer streamer. You did this. Into a boomer streamer. Well, why not? Glowy says, imagine a fat 500 kilogram Kibs reaching for the donuts. I can reach it. Kibs falls down.
Firstly, I don't. What's a kilogram? Secondly, I assume that's fat. And thirdly, fuck you.
Yeah, Chloe, we don't measure American things in kilograms anymore. We measure them in cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
That would be about 1,000 cheeseburgers.
1,000 cheeseburgers. It's quite a bit. Not gonna lie.
It is quite a few cheeseburgers, but it is within manageable limits still, in my opinion,
is,
you know?
How big is the meat on the? Are they like quarter pounders? Like, this could get really heavy very quickly.
Yeah, we're talking 500 grams here.
This is getting real bad. I'm gonna need to be lifted out of the house or the apartment with a Chinook. I have to cut a hole through the ceiling.
F. Joe Biden says the Facebook whistleblower is a Fed Glowy or an AstroTurf from Facebook to introduce a more regular to take out competition. Hopefully she gets Epsteined in Roblox for being a Fed Glowy or a Facebook AstroTurf. I'm starting to see why I'm getting suppressed again.
It all makes sense. It all comes back to this.
It does. Marked ashamed. I just remember it is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, not Supreme Commander 2. Ah, Supreme Commander 2. Now there was an example of Supreme Commander 2 is a bad video game, right? And it was not a Supreme Commander game in the slightest, but these things I could have forgiven it for. It would have pissed me off. Like, why did you make this when you should have made Supreme Commander 2? But what really pissed me off was the marketing. Because all of the trailers, all of the YouTube videos made it look like a Supreme Commander game. It was all shot from such an angle that made it look like you had massive armies and cool-ass experimentals and shit. And then you actually play the game and it's like, you have 10 units.
The map is tiny. Yes! Oh, the fact that we said the same thing means we're in sync. But the worst part about it was, you want to know why they made those decisions? I think you know already.
Because they're gay and they hate me, personally.
Oh, that, and you're forgetting the other console. They dumbed it down for console release. Because consoles couldn't run it, and it wouldn't be fair if the console players couldn't, enjoy it too. Just make two versions. Fuck.
This is why gaming has gotten so shit over the last 5 years or so, or more likely probably close to a decade. It's because people stopped trying. They gave up on their hopes and dreams and ideals. Now, when you see that little fuzzy thing, that ballsack that owns Bethesda, come out on stage and go we're not going to make this game because the technology isn't there yet. That's a lie. That's an absolute bold-faced lie. That's saying, I can't be asked to make this even though I know you want it. Lie. Because back in the day, Supreme Commander, they knew Supreme Commander couldn't run on anything. Nothing could run Supreme Commander. Not well. And they were still but god damn it, I want more units. I want a bigger map. And they did, the crazy little morons. I love them for it. It was such a beautiful thing.
At least the FAF guys have finally started work on their own games. We're going to get a new type of Supreme Commander finally.
See, here's the thing, Kyle. As much as I hope it's going to be good, I pray that they're going to be able to make Supreme Commander.
Let's go by their track record. How good is Forge Alliance Forever? It's better than the base
that's
game.
The thing. You just look at a game that they have modded. Modding a game is absolutely no qualifier whatsoever for making an actual...
Oh, I know.
video game.
I very much know, but if they're as dedicated as, anyone I know who makes indie games, they'll succeed if they put the time forth. They have one thing that is under their belt. They have a good piece of reference to go from. Not a lot of developers take enough inspiration from things, or often get super arrogant about it, or just blatantly copy. Now, it's clear that they want to make a spiritual successor, so it's probably going to have some unique ideas, but I'm confident that they can pull it off if they put their hearts into it.
We'll see.
There's a fly in here. Fuck.
Good. Hope it is you. When they start getting something together, we'll have a look at it, and hopefully it'll be good.
Hopefully, yeah. Because I would love an actual new Supreme Commander in today's age, just like I'd love a Sins of a Solar Empire game. Because both those games are awesome, and they both run on one CPU, and fuck them for that.
But before that, we're gonna get Ratten Reich, Kyle. We'll get Command and Conquer. Well, not Command and Conquer. We'll get Company of Heroes with rats.
See, everybody's making a Company Heroes game, but nobody's making a Command and Conquer game.
Because Command and Conquer is gay, and dead, and boring, and dumb, and silly.
Listen to that.
All those things.
No, keep going, Arch. I know chat is with Kane now. They're all gonna be fucking chanting peace through power before long. I will have the numbers now, Arch. It's got a very dedicated audience. Okay, you gotta give them that, even if you don't like it that much.
See, the thing is, I really did love them back in the day, but the thing
I
is,
still love them.
Company, like the RTS genre right now is just so goddamn bloody dead that a game that does what the other games did is just not going to succeed. Like I am confident in that. Like if you were to make a Command and Conquer today, and it was amazing, and it was great, and had all the cheesy cutscenes, and you'd put so much effort into it, 99.9% of people would just shrug and fart in your general direction. They wouldn't even look at it. We need to revitalize strategy first, and then we can start going back to the basics.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, have you glanced over at chat? It makes me sad, actually.
Is you can kill a Kyle.
It makes me sad. You want to know why? Because look at all these people that like Command and Conquer. And look at what EA has given. I mean, okay, they have given us the CNC remaster, which is pretty faithful. But, look at how they've treated the franchise other than that, though. Very poorly. That's tragic.
It is sadness that descends upon you.
It does.
You will be saddened by it. And Vladimir Dragunov, the Terran Federation did nothing wrong. I tell you, Kyle, I'm just the space Starship space.
Having a hard time today.
The Space Troopers. That Space Troopers video game. It has some neat ideas, but I don't like where they're heading with the mobile infantry. I think they're gonna fall for the usual traps and be like, actually, they're just retarded and kind of evil.
I mean, if the game's still fun, a good game with good gameplay can carry a shitty story.
Yeah, but the gameplay in and of itself, too. Like, the fire lanes is neato, but how much more is there? Like, how many more units are there? How many more enemies are there? How many more different challenges do they have? I don't know.
It's kind of like, it's very similar to sort of like Creeper World, how many types of buildings, turrets they have, what kind of enemy types are, because it greatly affects the dynamic, and you're not wrong there. Those games actually share a similarity with how they play, because they're kind of like defensive sort of creep games, where you creep up on stuff, as far as strategy games go. So it's really dependent on how good are their level editors, how good is their game design, like what kind of units there are, and the other thing is, they really need to improve these sound effects. Like, the sound effects, will carry the game a lot better than the visuals if they can't improve the visuals by simply just making the bugs fucking make sound, or the guns actually make sound when the bullets hit stuff. Because what do the bullets sound like when they hit a bug?
They don't have a sound.
It should make like meaty chunking sounds, like it did in the movie when they're like plop, 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 as it like chunks are blowing off.
They the thing is, they need so many things that I don't think Slytherin has the abilities to provide them. They need much better sound design. They need much better animations. Because right now, the mobile infantry dudes are just a bunch of fucking lifeless turrets that stand there and press the trigger as the bugs eat them. Even Terran Ascendancy from like the 1900s had your units withdraw away from the bugs when they got closer and like back off while firing.
I wish that game worked, and god damn it, GOG. I wish GOG would add the Starship Troopers game, specifically Terran Ascendancy, to their catalog, because I've been kind of wanting to play it again, and I have my CD, but the problem is when I don't know, Windows 10, man, like it seems like like whatever I put in there that's like old, it's like, what is this? Oh, I hate
Terran
that.
Ascendancy was really cool in so many ways. Like, yes, it's awful, absolutely awful looking, and it was way, 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 way too easy. Which is really sad because a Starship Troopers game, honestly, should be fucking intermingled common blood. Like, you should feel so good when you finally beat it, but it should feel like a constant grinding struggle against overwhelming numbers of really dangerous bugs too. That's the thing. The arachnids, it's not just that there's lots of them, they're really powerful.
It
Each
takes a lot to
arachnid
kill them.
warrior, yeah, an arachnid warrior is really tough. It moves really fast and it kills really fast.
Yep. And even when you think it's dead, like it can still like they're resilient. Like they're tough to bring down. That's why I keep saying this. Like but like I really wish Sandlot, the guys that made EDF, I wish they'd do a collab with whoever owns the IP for Starship Troopers and make a Starship Troopers game.
Maybe.
Because I think a Japanese dev
Maybe.
team like Sandlot could pull it off.
The Japanese would actually do great with stuff like Starship Troopers because Starship Trooper doesn't know how warfare works, and the Japanese don't know how warfare works.
Perfect. It's a
Like,
match
it's a great
made in
mix.
heaven.
Oh heavens!
We could use
All
more
right.
Starship Troopers video games, though.
Glowy, don't trust Kyle. He is a pirate hunter. We intended pirates need to keep him at arm's length. You do. Remember, if you shoot him in the legs, he can't chase you.
Murderers.
No
You don't
objection.
know that there's major arteries in the legs. It's like, yes, that's the point.
And that's why I really hate that goddamn anti-cop argument. I remember I had this with my
Oh,
dad a
God,
while
yeah.
ago. He was like, "They're paid. They can shoot them in the leg." And like, yes, where the biggest arteries in your bodies aren't. See, that's not that simple. Or shoot them in the hands. Like, okay, all right, just shoot them in the hands.
Yeah,
This
aim.
tiny maneuvering target. Just shoot the gun out of their hands. That's easy.
Just, have your father go to a firing range one day when you get the permit or whatever, because I don't know how it works in Norway, and just have him
Oh no,
practice shooting.
he has a pistol license. He has been doing pistol stuff.
He's been he's been shooting at just, static targets that don't move.
Yes, but he doesn't. He's not that expert on what's inside of people. And it's a line that sounds good. Oh, they should just shoot them in the leg. That sounds good until you remember that the human body actually has a lot of blood gushing through it and shit. And
Because the legs are super important for a human. That's how we move. That's our bipedal movement. Like, there's a lot of major arteries there to get blood down there so that they can get oxygen to the muscles.
there's also the problem that certain times shooting them just doesn't goddamn work. Like, there are drugs
Oh,
that
yeah.
just turn people into bloody psychopathic monsters. I remember seeing one of these cop cams. A dude was coming at them with a knife, and there's two cops, and you just hear like blam, 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 blam. Both of them opening up, semi-automatics, point blank range, and the dude just keeps coming.
He didn't stop. Yeah, yeah. I saw that with like
holy shit.
there were two girls in a store. One was a sales clerk, and one was some girl, purchasing an item. A dude comes in and tries to basically pull out a gun. The girl grabs a gun from under the counter, shoots him in the head when he's distracted. He gets up, big crater in his head, and is like crawling around, grabbing the gun, trying to shoot them. They run and flee, and he's like crawling around trying to chase after them. for like a good like minute, and he's not dead, even though he should, by all accounts, be dead.
It depends. Like, if you shot him with like a 22 or something, that shit will ricochet off the skull.
Oh, it went through the head. There was a crater on the other side. He was still
there you go.
moving though. That was creepy. Like some of those cam footage from like stores or robberies or like when these incidents, like, it's scary. Like it's actually scary stuff. People don't die instantly, and non-lethal isn't necessarily non-lethal, just less lethal. It also doesn't work all the time. Like tasers, if they're wearing baggy sweater, good luck. Sad, but sometimes it's not a perfect solution.
Long Dashman says, Age of Darkness has entered early access. Has one of you tried it already? It's on my list of things to play, so hopefully I can do a video on it next week. I'm hoping, because it does look cool. And lastly, still Garrison, one thing that brought me to Starship Troopers was the old space above and beyond TV show. Would Arch be willing to do lore videos about that one? Above and Beyond TV show. Is that the hideous one?
I don't know.
No,
Above
that's
and Beyond.
another. This is an actual television show that I've never seen. 1995 to 1996.
Didn't run for very long.
No, it looks like a one season thing.
Like a miniseries? No.
See, that was another benefit of the olden days. We had so many cool show ideas. Like a lot of them look awful today, and a lot of them looked awful back then too. But we had so many cool ideas. Now we get so little. I mean, I was trying to watch The Foundation, the new TV show about the Foundation, because I really love the books, and it butchers the books. Like it has next to nothing to do with the books for like the first 2 fucking episodes.
Did you get past those 2 episodes out of curiosity? I haven't seen it.
I haven't even downloaded any more episodes of it because I'm like, ugh.
Let me go and skim and read the synopsis to see if they even bother.
Maybe. Anywho, we'll start wrapping things up there. So, until next time, specifically until tomorrow, where we have our Skaven RP once again, Rat Power. I hope to see you all again then. And, of course, as always, have a good day.